Please welcome the wonderful Vick Strizheus coming in live from America. Thank you so much, Vick, for joining the show today.
Oh, glad to be here. Glad to be here. How are you, Princess?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous. I've been waiting for you to come on the show. I mean, I've just been counting down the days because I know how amazing you are.
I know. It's you've been trying to get me on here for a little while, and I just, I want to commend you for what you do here. What you do is pretty cool stuff here. Getting people, the little wisdom and nuggets of stuff that can move the needle for them in their business and their life. That's awesome. Where I love your accent. This like we didn't talk backstage or before the show. I mean, this is literally like I'm just talking to you live here for the first time like ever. And love your accent, by the way. Where are you from?
We're from UK. We're coming in live
Oh,
from
UK.
UK.
Okay, cool. So you're in UK. I'm in the United States, and this technology makes it work. Awesome, awesome. I'm good to roll. So
It's
already in the
absolutely
room.
beautiful how we can come together so quickly.
Yeah.
But basically, the main purpose of this program, guys, is for you to get the opportunity to ask questions. Okay, so there's a chat box below. There's comment section. There's a live chat. If you want to keep it private, there's a private area as well. So just ask your questions, and I will address them as we go along. But Vic, I mean, it's been an incredible journey for you. I mean, I know you're going to share these 5 big ideas that got you from broke to a millionaire, right? A multi-millionaire. But it's been I mean, we see you successful today, but it's been a kind of intense journey. Can you kind of talk us through exactly what point were you at before you actually even started looking online? What was your situation like?
That's a great question, Princess, and something that I think um, a lot of people, what I wanted to do today is I wanted if I can do what I'm hoping if I can get my kind of thinking through to your audience, and one of the things that I wanted to do is just kind of simplify the process, or just kind of boil it down to like really what it takes to succeed, and maybe maybe somebody's goal is to make $1 million, or a couple $1,000, or become a multi-million, or whatever the thing is there's a way to getting it done,
Yes.
that I believe anybody can do. I don't if there is one thing that I want to put across here in today's show, is that it doesn't matter where the person is coming from. It doesn't matter, what they tried, or what their background is, or whatever the thing that happened to them in the past. It's not, like success is not, this thing that just available for this special group of people. I believe success can be achieved by anybody, whatever your, definition of success is. And so, when I got started, really, I mean, the whole thing got started for me when I got married. I was 20 years old, this young kid, and loved the fell in love with somebody, when I was like, I mean, we were going out for like 5 years, and I just, it was just a person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, and I said, you know what, I'm the kind of guy who, I mean, I don't like to screw around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just figured, hey, you love somebody, get married. But see, that's when the reality kind of sunk in for me. Is I said, okay, so I was working for corporate America, and and I was looking at the income that I was bringing in, and I was just looking at the whole lifestyle, and being in that environment. And it's like, you have to wake up at certain time in the morning. You have to be at work. You have to punch your clock and have somebody to tell you when to take a break, and just all that stuff. I just could not see myself doing that for the rest of my life. But more importantly, I did not want that to be our lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, I did not want to have that be our life for the rest of our lives and for my family. So that was something that really, really drove me to explore,
But
what's
hold
out
on a
there,
minute, Vic.
what can we
I'm
do.
going to interrupt you. Forgive me if I keep interrupting you, but I
Sure.
want to know, how did you even know that isn't normal? I mean, how did you even know? Because everyone's taught that you go to work 9 to 5, you work 40 years of your life, and then you retire. What made you understand that, hold on, there is another way, or there is a better way?
I didn't know there was a better way. I just wanted a better way.
You wanted it, right?
You know
Okay.
what I mean? And I was just like, I mean, I was conditioned like everybody else. I mean,
Yeah.
we live, and I mean, depending on what family you grow up with, but my family were very supportive, but they were very, very middle class.
Right.
Like I didn't have the nice toys and all the the cool trips and everything, in my life when I was growing up when I was a kid. So naturally I wanted something better, and I knew there was something better. I just didn't know how to get it. And so I think we get conditioned, society conditions us, and it starts with families. We're born into a family, we really don't have control over it,
Yes.
right? And there's certain thinking going on, and there's certain language that's around you, as you're growing up. And we as kids, I think, we get conditioned, and
Yeah.
and and unfortunately many people just kind of adopt that conditioning. Most of the time it's not supportive, right? And if you adopt that conditioning and that belief systems, and you carry it through your life, well, that's exactly how you're gonna, what you're gonna give to your family. And then if
Yeah.
if your kids doesn't, don't do anything different, that's kind of how it's gonna progress.
Yes.
And I was looking at my, at my situation, and that, I said, what if I can be, the first generation in our family tree that can break through that, that kind of conditioning that was
Right.
put onto us. So but I really wasn't doing it for anybody else other than just my family. I mean, that was just the thing that drove me, and I just wanted a better way, and I was looking. So
Right.
that's kind of where everything started, is that burning desire to, to have more and be more. And
See, the reason I ask you this question, Vic, is because a lot of people do tend to say, "Oh, hold on, they're just like that. They're successful because that's who they are. People are just born entrepreneurs, or they're born
yeah.
with, secondary kind of, out of the box thinking." How true is that? I mean, can anyone do it at any stage in time?
I mean, unless you're like Donald Trump, to where, your father was successful,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
he
That's how
had,
it
billions,
was
and
said. Yeah.
or somebody like that. But it's like exceptions, it's exceptions. But I mean, any entrepreneur here. Let me put it this way: the majority, I'd say overwhelming majority of success stories that we see out there, right? The people that we look up to sometimes, right? The people that I look up to, the people that that we think, oh my goodness, they're the stars of the universe, whatever the thing is, right? A lot of times those people started out just like everybody else, just like myself, with just an idea and something that's burning inside them. And you know what? Just the thought, I can do better, maybe I can live better. What if I could have something that's just like awesome, in your life, and just kind of pursuing that little thing that's inside of you, right? And never letting go. And there are certain things that we need to do along the ways. Obviously, if it was, as easy as just,
No.
well, I would like to live a better life, and all of a sudden, boom, you're living a better life. Everybody would do that.
No push button software's here, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So what was your pain bit? Because usually it comes out from a pain point, right? Where someone actually starts thinking and actually listening to their inner voice. It's usually because they're very frustrated, or they've gone through a very, very hard time in life. What point did you actually feel that you were actually opening up to ideas of exploring?
Um, well, let me kind of backtrack just a little bit here. So when I was still in high school, I remember I was constantly, and I didn't know, like why or anything, but I was constantly drawn. Like what really fascinated me was, like, how do businesses start? Like, what, I mean, I'm working for this company, right? I'm working for, I think my first job ever when I was 14, I was cleaning floors. I was working at it as a cleaner at some sort of business. I don't remember where. But I'm like, well, somebody owns this, right? So when somebody owns this, there's got to be a way. Like, how do you own stuff? I mean, how do you start companies? How do you? So that was like in the back of my mind all the time. And so I remember when I was in high school, I started to, eBay was a big thing, back then, right?
Right.
So eBay was just kind of getting a, massive, explosive growth, and so there was a lot of people on eBay selling stuff, and I was checking out eBay, and I'm like, how do these people sell stuff on eBay? So, somehow I came across this guy from Switzerland. We met up online, and I was in these, forums, and just trying to connect with people and just kind of explore that little world. And he was like, hey, he was working and he was selling like Rolex watches, and I'm like,
Right, right.
Rolex, man, not my lights, lit up because I felt Rolex watches were like, something I just saw myself as somebody who could never afford, ever, a Rolex watch. And so here I am talking to a guy who actually sells Rolex watches, and I'm still in high school. I think I was like senior in high school or something like that. And we got started. We started talking, and he's like, "Hey, so, yeah, I live here in Switzerland, and then I can, get them at a wholesale, whatever, if you want to buy them from me." I'm like, "Oh, give it a try." So I bought one from him. I borrowed the money, bought one from him, and then turned around and resold it, and profited, a few $1,000s. And that to me was, the thing that I'm like, wow, this, there is a way, for you to, with an idea,
Yeah.
right? That's where the kind of the concept of, what, just one single idea can make, a big difference for you, right? I
Hmm.
mean, we don't need a lot, right? I think in business right now, it's all about ideas and people that you know, right?
Yeah.
It's ideas and connections. If you
Right.
have those two, I mean, everything else can be crafted, right? But and some something we can talk about obviously as we progress. But that's kind of what I got. But my pain point was really that Rolex deal didn't go too far because I realized that you need to be a licensed dealer to keep doing that. So I had to stop doing that, which was kind of painful.
Yeah.
But my ultimate pain point was where we got married, and I got introduced to this online world. I saw
Right.
these people posting success stories, and when I was still working at the bank, right? And so I got so fired up about the idea
Hmm.
that that I could do what these people are doing, and I could see myself doing that so much. I mean, I internalized the idea so much that for me I was like, that's it. I'm doing this. There is no going back, and this is going to be our way out for my family. And it's like, I don't know if you know that feeling, but you don't know how you're gonna do this, but you
Yes.
just have that burning desire and that unwavering faith that
Yeah.
what, this is it. I'm gonna do this no matter what. I'm gonna figure out a way, and I'm just gonna do this. That's it. That this is gonna be our way out. And
Excellent.
so this online world was that for me. I came across a company that was a direct sales company. They required like $7,000 to get started, but I'm broke. I don't have a credit. I don't have any money. Every penny that comes into from my weekly paycheck goes to pay for the rent. And we were living in this crappy one-bedroom apartment in a ghetto neighborhood, and just paycheck to paycheck. But um, I remember borrowing a bunch of money to get started. And I was just in that. I can tell you, in that I was just fortunate. Not a lot of people have that luxury, but I was just fortunate that I had a person that I could go to that that believed in me enough. He also knew my parents, and so we I borrowed the money, signed the paper, saying, what, I'm gonna pay this back to you. Like 90 days, I'm gonna pay it off. Everything's gonna be great. He loaned me $30,000,
Right.
of which 20,000, you got to picture this. So I have no experience in online marketing, like zero, right? I
Yeah.
have no idea what the landing page is, how to run this business. I just have this idea. And so I got so passionate about this that I explained to him my passion. This guy I was borrowing the money from. He's like, what? So what are you gonna do? I'm like, it's gonna be an online business. It's gonna be an empire, man. We're gonna be global. This is a global company, debt-free company. So I was just explaining the big vision. Being able to travel and work from home, and and earn big money. So he bought into that. And that's, guys, this is another thing. There's a lesson within this
Yeah.
explanation.
Between the lines.
Like when you are talking about your product, right? Like when you're selling right now, I'm going to give you a bunch of nuggets here today.
Yeah.
We can talk about pretty much anything you want to talk about, but the main thing is this: is when you're building your business, you have to leverage. There are certain things in business and in your marketing that when you leverage it,
Mhm.
right, and when you explore, that can give you the 20% brings 80% of the results.
Right.
Okay, so what is the 20% in your messaging? Okay, there is a lesson. So the 20% in your messaging is not so much about the product. It's not so much about the features and what the compensation plan or whatever you're into, right? The 20% is how you present the product. See, when I was presenting my idea for, borrowing the money from this guy, right?
Yes.
I did not know all the details about the product, the compensation plan necessarily, and that to me was like foggy, right? But what I wanted is I had a vision, you see? And see, when you're selling your product, when you're talking about the stuff that you're talking about, how can you leverage? Because masses, I'm telling you, masses, they go after the 80% that produces 20%.
Yes.
That's what they spend most of their time in, is explaining the 80%, which takes a long time, it takes a lot of energy, and it confuses people. And it makes you be just like another marketer, another affiliate, right? What is the 20% that you can talk about that would, that will allow you to leverage this whole thing and produce the 80% of the results? And that is your passion about what you do. And that is not necessarily about the product. That is about the bigger vision, right? You don't sell product, you sell ideas, you sell dreams. So that's what it's all about. So, that was my first kind of lesson that I learned in business, and I didn't realize it at that time, but later on, as I look back and I'm able to leverage that experience, I said, hey, if I was able to sell this guy on loan in $30,000,
yes,
how can I? What was there that allowed me to do that, right?
Yes.
How can I leverage that in my business? And that's passion for what you want to achieve.
Excellent.
So, but I borrowed the money, right? Invested $20,000. Within like first 60 days, we agreed with my wife that $10,000 would be to pay the household, the bills, and put food on the table. And what I did, guys, is this: because I was so passionate about this is it. There is no plan B. I'm gonna do this. What I did is as soon as I got the money, I quit the job. I quit my bank work, and my wife wasn't working, and so we literally did not have a safety net. That was a do or die for me, and I was convinced I'm going to do this. But a lot of times what we intend to do is not going to happen, right? And so a lot of people get discouraged, and I was about to give up, because what would happen was, I want you to realize, and there's going to be another lesson for you here that I'm trying to put across through to you. Princess, I'm getting some kind of an echo here. I don't know if it's just me.
It's fine. Sorry, is that me on?
Okay, so now I don't hear you.
I'm going to switch myself off so you can speak. I think that's where the echo comes in. So I'll switch myself off.
I didn't know if it was because I'm like hearing myself in like 3 dimensions.
No worries, you carry on.
Okay. So here is another lesson that I learned in business and just in life in general. Okay, so. And it's a lesson of being able to take risks, right? And not being afraid to go all out.
Excellent.
I think a lot of people fail not because they don't have ideas, or they don't have the plan, or they don't have like the resources. I think a lot of people fail just because they don't have that resolve. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to resolve to this, and they just they have that safety net, that plan B.
It's about belief, isn't it, Vic? It's about really believing that you can do it. That's what it comes down to. Because if you've got a safety net or a plan B, you don't really believe in your plan A. You're not really 100% there with it.
Here's the thing, right? And this is kind of like, this might be totally off, a wacky kind of example, but it might be extreme, but. Here's the thing. Somebody tells me, you know what, I can't learn this marketing thing, right? But what if you can imagine, what if somebody held your family hostage, or somebody put a gun to your head and said, you know what, you've got 30 days to master this and make your first $10,000. Okay? I guarantee you, you would do it. I guarantee you would do it. You know what? There are stories, for instance, and you know this. I mean, what humans can do, guys, what we can do is incredible. It's unbelievable. I mean, people jump through fences that are like 10 feet high, when a dog or somebody, chasing them. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, mothers can lift up cars.
So what we can do is out of this world. Now, what we will do, and what we're going to limit ourselves to doing, is a totally different thing. So, in my early days, I literally just went all out. I said, you know what? I'm going to quit my job. There is no plan B. There is no safety net because I wanted to give everything I've got. I wanted to give 1,000% of it because I was doing it for a cause that was something bigger, way bigger than myself. You see,
Right.
and it didn't work. It didn't work because I did not have the knowledge, but it taught me a lesson. Okay, it didn't work. You know, I started throwing money into the marketing, right? I did a whole bunch of ads. I ran, and I was, sending traffic to my corporate, link that they gave me, which, at that time, basically how they explained it is, you know what, this is your business right here. It's your link, it's your business. You're gonna send people here. People are gonna, buy your stuff, and you're gonna make money, right? When people buy your stuff. Sounds good in the concept. In reality, that didn't work because there's everybody else in the company is doing the same thing, right? And so if you're doing what everybody else in the company is doing, and there is no difference between you and the next guy and the next guy, well, how are you going to stand out, right? The concept sounds good, especially if you don't know any better, right? But then as soon as you start realizing what's really going on, behind the scenes and how this really works, right? Then you start realizing some things that, and so I was green, and 60 days later, Princess, I turned back, and what happened was, my $20,000 that I invested, I made $0 back, not a single sale, and we're down to less than, way less than $10,000 that we set aside to put money on the table. And I said, oh my goodness, what are we gonna do?
Okay,
Here I am.
okay, Vic, before they find out what you did next, I just want to say, just kind of wrap up what you said in a way that, first of all, you have to ask the right questions, okay? Ask yourself, what am I doing here? What can I do in my life to improve it? What is my bigger purpose, right? So that's one thing. Then you took the action. So you started your search online, etc., made the right connections with people, went to the right, find resources that can help you in your business. And thirdly, you have to give up everything to pursue this with 100% belief. These three things I think are really important to highlight. And I want to actually congratulate people that have actually come onto the show, because they've probably just searched online how to make money online, or how do I learn about this or that. They've pursued something and they took action, and that's why they're here today. So I just want to do that before we go on. But Vic, excellent. So what happened? Oh my God, you lost all that money. What about the trust with the person that you went, that you took the money from? I can't imagine the emotional frustration that you were in that time.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a very long story short, Princess, because I want to get into these. Because what I was able to do is I said, you know what, let's, if we're gonna talk to people and just really, I wanted to give people like a blueprint that they can follow today. That I thought, you know what, how can we simplify it enough so that people understand it, they can actually see it, and they can actually apply it and get results from it, right? And so I want to get to that stuff as soon as possible, but kind of to give you guys a pre-frame, and hopefully to make you realize that, you know what, if you're going through some struggles right now, go through them. Okay, go through them. Don't give up. Go through them, and you want to go through them as quickly as possible you can. Right? Sometimes we can't go around them, so if we can't go around them, we got to go through them. But if you're going to go through a fire, like if this is a fire, you want to go through the fire as quickly as possible. You don't want to go slow, because you're going to burn, right? You're going to go through it as quickly as possible, come out the other side, and learn some lessons and move on, and and that's kind of how life goes. So yeah, what happened was $20,000 gone, and I don't know if you've ever been in the position to where you wake up in the morning and you don't know what you're going to do, right? So we literally got to the point to where we did not have $1.19 to our name, to put. I mean, I literally did not know. Like today, how am I gonna buy bread for my family? I did not know. $1.19 was a loaf of bread. That's how much that it costed, and I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life, because that was the lowest of the lowest in my life, and I realized some things. I realized that what I was doing did not work, and I realized there was a lot of people who were saying things to me and trying to teach me ideas and principles in marketing and tell me what to do. They themselves were broke, and so that's when I kind of got my first exposure to what's really going on in this online business space, which is there's a lot of fakes. There's a lot of people who are telling you one thing. People were teaching me things like, what, buy this product right here. I'm going to teach you how to make $20,000 a month because that's where I'm at. Later on, you realize the guy is on welfare.
Yeah.
How the hell can they teach you how to make money if they're on welfare? You know what I mean? And that's guys, that's another thing that I want everybody to, and kind of that's my message right now. And is, you know what, your business, like if we can, if this is a circle, right? If you can imagine a circle, and in the middle of that circle is a person, okay? And this little thing right here, this little pie, let that represent your business, okay? If you impact the person, if the person, okay, you running your business, if you have your, I don't know if I should use that word, if you have your stuff put together, right? If you got your thing together, right? That's gonna spill into your business, that's gonna spill into your personal life, that's gonna spill into every area of your life, right? Around that person. So my message kind of is this, is how can we impact the person running the business, okay?
Excellent.
Because if you impact yourself first, right? If you truly impact yourself first, well, then you're able to impact others, and you're being genuine about it, right? If people say, fake it till you make it, all that stuff, that's BS. Don't do that, okay? You've got to impact yourself. Even if you don't get the results in business, there's probably other areas that you're getting phenomenal results in, okay? How can you transfer that into business? There's a way of doing that, and we can talk about it. So what happened, Princess, for me was I realized that I needed to truly dive into this thing and make a decision. Do I pursue a job? Do I pursue my dream? And I decided to pursue my dream no matter what. So I found a mentor, somebody who I resonate with, and that taught me some things. Now, from the little bit of money that we had, we literally were down to very, very, very few dollars that we had left. And I said, baby, I was talking to my wife. I said, let's give me one more chance. Let me hire this guy and actually do what he's gonna tell me, because I realized, what, I was pursuing all these. I had a lot of noise in my life. I had a lot of noise in my business, just like a lot of people might have right now.
Yes.
And I was following this and this and this and this. And I said, I found somebody that I truly resonate with, and I wanna learn what this guy knows. Because the person I was learning from, what I wanted to learn from, he was earning about $200,000 a month at that time, which was like a zillion. And I said, I talked to him, I explained to him what's going on, and he was, he gave me a chance. He said, Vic, if you're gonna do what I'm gonna tell you to do, man, I think you have a potential, because he saw my passion.
Right.
And so that's kind of how everything started to shift for me. And the very first thing he started to teach me was, he said, look, if your business is like sales is a direct reflection of your belief in what you do. Okay, and so if you're promoting whatever you're promoting, in that time I was promoting a business opportunity. He said, look, do you believe in it? I said, I do. Why do you do this? Right? Well, I do this honestly because I want to, I want to get my family, unstuck. I want to, take my family to and provide the best lifestyle I can from them. He said, great, use that. Okay, that's okay. You're gonna use that. But what you do is you run your business that's different from how the masses run their business. Okay, so the masses run their business because they say, well, we've got the best comp plan, we've got the best product, we've got the best this, the best that, the best the other. Well, so does everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what every other company on the planet says. What makes you different, right? Why do you exist? Why do people resonate? Why do people buy from you? Well, people don't buy businesses. People buy people. That was the first thing that I realized, right? And so he said, look, if you're going to succeed, you've got to you got to know exactly what you want, right? You've got to put together a plan that's going to separate you from the rest of the people in that company, okay? And you need to start building a herd of people around you. If you can do that, you can pretty much write your own paycheck in life. And so that's the big concept, right? That we can spend an entire 3 days, at a workshop.
Absolutely. Yeah, very deep.
But in business, ultimately, that's what it comes down to. And again, making a long story short, Princess, within about 3 to 4 months of me deliberately, applying the principles that we can talk about here if you want. literally within the first 3 to 4 months of me starting doing that, I became #1 income earner in that company at that time.
Excellent, excellent. Now, Vic,
And
before we go ahead, sorry, you
yep.
know when you started with the 20,000, what was different in your approach when you started and when you ended up with your new mentor? What was different then? What happened? What went wrong in the first?
Yeah. It's you don't need to have a lot of money to succeed. Okay,
Right.
people say, if I don't have the money, I'm not going to be successful because I don't have the money for advertising. Okay, you don't need money for advertising.
Yeah.
Okay, the difference between that was this: when I had the money, I was throwing money on ads. I
Right.
was doing pay-per-click. I was doing all sorts of media buying. But I did not. I was clueless, right? And so I did not track. I did not make myself stand out. I was just throwing stuff against the wall and see what sticks, right? The difference is when I was broke and just applying the strategies that my mentor was teaching me, I was running ads at that time on Craigslist, for instance, right?
Right.
But I
Right.
was doing it in a different way. I was doing it with a different approach. And
Yeah.
so my goal was not necessarily to, oh my goodness, how can I sell this product right here because I got to eat tomorrow. My whole approach became, you know what? It's all about building a community, building a herd around your idea. Okay?
Excellent.
So and we can talk about how I did it, but it was basically pretty simple, right? I would run, it doesn't matter. Like with today's technology, you've got YouTube, you've got all these blogs, you've got the social media, you've got all these free different sites you can go to, very, very low, low cost sites you can
Yes.
advertise in. But the idea is this: if you're selling your product, let's talk about, for instance, what's your audience? Are they mostly like network marketers, or they're affiliate
Usually
marketers,
people,
or
I mean, there's a mixture. There's a mixture of people that have got their own products and they are
Mhm.
part of a network marketing, or they're looking for to join a network marketing business. So there's a mixture in between. But I think that what they want to know is if they do choose, or if they have got products, how to best get the right people around you and get your kind of sales going. But it's not about
right?
sales, guys. It is, well, it's about building that kind of, community. That's what I think it is about. But yeah.
Okay, so it's actually pretty simple. Okay, guys, it's actually very, very simple to do if you're willing to do it. Okay, and most
Yeah.
people don't do it, so that's why it's so simple for us,
Yeah.
for those that implement this. So the idea is this: is whatever. I mean, look, you can start a campaign right now for $10, right?
Yes.
I mean, you can run a Facebook ad campaign. You can run, like, what's really hot right now is this, video ads, right? And I mean, the thing is just freaking on fire right now,
Yeah.
right? Most people most people don't do it, right? A, they don't know how. B, whatever. C, they think it's for somebody else. But you can start an ad campaign, and you can literally spend 10, 15, $20.
Mhm.
Okay, start getting the traffic, build your list. Okay,
Mhm.
send traffic to your landing page, turn around, and the people that just got on your list, right? I mean, if you're a network marketing industry, right, you're building a company, right? So the people that you're attracted to, they want to do the same. Okay,
Right. Right.
so how can you stand out? How can you separate yourself? How can you look different from the guy that's next to you? Very, very simple. The people you just got to your list, connect with them on a personal level. Don't connect with them from a corporate and pushy way. Here's an idea for you. How can you create a pull type marketing versus a push type marketing?
Excellent.
Okay, so if you can create and engineer a pull type marketing in your business, immediately you're going to stand out. Okay, and so one way of doing that is, as soon as somebody got on your list, let's say you got 20 people on your list. Okay, email them, say, hey, look, if you're looking for a way to make money online, here's what you need, right? And again, there's so much knowledge, and I'm sure, Princess, from the previous, hangouts and shows that you've done, there's probably a wealth of information for your audience to go and, and just absorb, right? So it's a matter of filtering out for what your niche needs. Okay, what do they need? Well, if they want to start a business, they need something to sell,
Mhm.
they need a way to sell it, okay, and they need some traffic to
Right.
how they're selling it.
Mhm.
Pretty much that's it. Okay, so if you can simplify it, make it very, very easy for people to understand on a conceptual level, okay, And then you email your list. You say, look, if you're looking for a way to make money online, here's what you need. And you talk about these three things right here. Just tell them, and you simplify it. Here's what I found in business is most people are trying to complicate things, and they're pushing. They have this resistance, this resistant energy in their business. Okay, when you simplify stuff for your audience, when you just, you know what, you just boil it down to three things. Okay, every single concept can be, almost every single concept can be boiled down to three things. Okay, you say, what are the three things that my audience need to really take their stuff to the next level or start getting results? Okay, something to sell. Well, in many cases, if they just joined you, or if whatever you're promoting, you don't push that, but you approach it from a different angle. You know what, you say, you need to have something to sell, right? But you don't say, well, join me because my thing is the best.
Excellent, yeah.
Because you're going to be pushy. People don't want to be pushed.
Yes.
You're talking about, see what you're talking about, you're talking about an idea. You're talking about lifting the fog from people's eyes, right?
Right.
So naturally, if you're good, right, and if you stick to the blueprint, people will naturally come to you as an advisor, and they'll ask you, what should I sell, right? What's good that I can promote?
Right.
You see what I'm saying here? But you don't approach it from a pushy way, you approach it from a cool way. So something to sell, you just educate them. A way to sell it, here is where you explain to people, you know what, you need to stand out. So how do you stand out? Well, you explain to them the stuff that you're learning, right?
Yes.
Which we can talk about as well. And then all you need to do is just get more people to this thing number 2 of how you're selling it, which is your landing page, your funnel, right? Your style of selling it, and then this thing number 3. So these 3 right here, this is what everybody is focusing on. This is your product. That's what your competition is selling. Okay? How you're selling it is really, it's you, it's your personal funnel, it's what people feel when they're around you, right? And this is traffic. So people send traffic to this, most people, right? And that's why they're mediocre. That's why they're not making any money. You send traffic here and educate them on these 3 things, you have explosion in your business. Okay? So what you do is you say, look, I just ran a campaign. I'm going to show you how I got 50 subscribers to my list just yesterday, right? People are going to go, what? That's awesome. Show me how to do that. So you say, look, again, you're talking to your list, right? And maybe you have just 50 people on your list. But you email them, you say, look, I'm going to do this hangout this Friday, or this teleconference call this Friday. I'm going to teach you how I got 50 subscribers to my list, right? And you tell them exactly what you did. You don't put anything back. You tell them exactly what you did. So what you're doing is you're creating yourself an aura, this core group of people that will follow you, core group of people who will trust you and see you as an advisor in this industry, because nobody else is doing that to them. Everybody else that they're subscribed to, they're sending them messages saying, hey, buy my stuff, this is the best, we have the best comp plan, this is the best product in the world, and that's what the same thing they're hearing over and over again, and that's a lot of noise. How can you cut through the noise and come across as an advisor to your crowd? Okay, that's really the trick. And if you can do that, I mean, you will never, ever have to sell anything. People will come to you, ask you, what should they buy? What are you selling that they can join?
Excellent, excellent. That's absolutely fantastic. At this point, guys, I just want to say, I know the questions are coming in. Vick, they're crazy about you. I will take them as we go along, because we've got a lot of ground to cover, but I will take some questions as we go along. But so Vick, are you saying focus on the end result? Because what people want at the end of the day, I have to be straightforward, is to make money, right? They don't know about the product. They don't know which product that will help them. All they want to know when they start a business online is how to either get subscribers or how to actually make money from them. So what you're saying is actually teach them the end result, right? And then teach them how you got to that end result, and then introduce your product. Is that something like that?
Yeah. Well, this is one of my biggest secrets. One of my big secrets that allowed me to get to where I'm at today. That is this. Again, guys, I'm just gonna. I mean, this is simple, okay? But this is literally a multi-million-dollar idea if you're gonna do it in your business, okay? People buy. So you just said people are here because they want to make money.
Yes.
People join businesses because they want money, okay? So you attract people based on that. You talk to them based on that. So that's your hook. Okay, that's what
Yes.
people kind of bite on, right? For lack of a better word. So you get people hooked on that idea that's already going on in their head. So that whatever the conversation is in their head, you talk to them about that. Get them into your world. Get them on your list. Okay, get them into your little circle to where they can get exposed to what you're doing. Okay, before they even join you. As soon as they come into my circle, I want them to see people come in for what they think they want. They stay around for how you make them feel and how they feel when they're interacting with you.
Excellent.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So if you can, as soon as somebody gets in your circle, okay, make them realize, give them the aha moment. Okay, write this down. You want to engineer, you want to give your people, your new subscribers, that aha moment as soon as possible.
Right.
So when you give somebody that aha moment, they will come back because they will think that there's going to be more aha moments for them. Okay, and your job is to engineer and to present more of these aha moments along the journey. That's before they even joined anything. Okay, now the biggest thing is this: is you having your own philosophy. Like, what's your philosophy in business? Okay, most people's philosophy is they don't have a philosophy. They just want to make a buck. And they will sell whatever comes across their way.
Yeah.
Okay? They'll sell, good, bad, mediocre, scammy, whatever. As long as I can make 20, 30, 40 bucks, I'm going to push it. Right? And that's what most people are doing. And that's a good thing for us. Okay, that's a good thing for you because you're not going to be like that person.
Exactly.
Okay? And so, do you have a philosophy in business? Is your philosophy, you know what? I'm not gonna promote anything if it's not going to help my subscriber or myself get to the next level. If I would not use that product myself, I'm not gonna promote it to others, right? Is your philosophy? My philosophy is, you know what? I want to transcend people. Not only I want to, like, if this is a circle right here, I want to impact the person, not the business pie, because the business pie will automatically take care of itself if I can impact the person, right, on a personal level, and make them realize what they can do, right? And so that when they follow my stuff and when they apply my ideas, not only do they get results in business, but they get better results in the relationship. They get better results in their, just how they feel about themselves, right? That is what's going to make people stick around you.
That's absolutely fantastic. Wow. Wow. We can elaborate on this. I mean, Vic, when it comes to providing free content, I know people get a bit kind of like, oh my God, I'm giving out too much information, or they feel that that everything they've learned they're just giving away. What kind of mindset is that? I mean, what is the long-term plan of giving away free content and educating the people on your list or anyone that enters your funnel? What is actually going on there?
There's two different approaches we can take with this, I think, Princess. There is an approach of, like, most people, at least from the way I see it, people think, well, if I give my best stuff out, then I'm not going to have anything on the back end, right? Well, that's a scarcity mentality, and that signals your inability or your unwillingness to learn more and expand yourself.
Exactly.
Okay? Yeah. So if you're thinking, you know what, if I give my best today, that I'm not going to have any more to give later, that means that you're not willing to invest more and expand yourself as a person later. You know what I mean? So whatever you do in your business, you like, one of my philosophies is, you know what? I want to know more. I want to do something today that will allow me to be more resourceful tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay? That will allow my business to grow even more tomorrow. Okay, so what are you doing? What information are you putting in? What sources, what channels are you getting your information from that will allow you to become this source of information, inspiration, this source of something that people can plug into, and you don't have to worry about giving your best stuff today because tomorrow you will have even better stuff to share. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's one thing. Another thing is, don't be afraid to give your best stuff anyways, because look, there is YouTube. I mean, you go to YouTube, you just YouTube anything, right? And there is just literally wealth of information.
Yes.
millions and billions of dollars worth of information that we can get access to for free.
Mhm.
Now, why are we still learning? Why are we still buying courses? Why am I still, investing tons and tons and tons of money like I do on education?
Mm.
Well, I could go research that stuff and probably find a lot of that information for free anyways, but it's scattered, right?
Mm.
But people think that they buy information. What people really are after is transformation,
Yes.
okay? And if you can be that person who will make them feel better about themselves, about their business, and show them what they can do and show them how they can do it,
Yes.
that's a challenge for you because you need to understand, you need to learn that yourself. You need to practice what you teach yourself, right? And you need to be that person who's going to say and have the moral authority to look into the camera and say, you know what, I did this and here it worked for me or it didn't work for me, and I can tell you what to do, right? And when you have that moral, a lot of people in this industry, they don't have a what I call moral authority to run their business, right? Their moral authority is they're saying one thing, but they're doing another thing.
Yes. They're not actually
They're
practicing. Yeah.
right. So it doesn't sync. It doesn't resonate with the
Yeah.
person on the other side. And then they're asking themselves, well, I'm doing the same thing that this guy and this guy is doing, and they're millionaires, and I'm not. I'm struggling. Why is that? Well, it's because maybe you're not congruent with your messaging and your actual living. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like if you
Yeah.
don't grow yourself, if you don't read, if you don't invest time in building yourself today, right, that's gonna take your business to the next level tomorrow, you cannot expect people to resonate with your message because there is no it's all like business is it's almost like spiritual, and I don't know, like this weird stuff for me. I don't want to go into that,
No, I
but
love
it's like, you know what I mean? It's like
Mm.
it's something you can't taste, touch, smell, or see, but it's
Yes.
there.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? And so I think
Absolutely.
that's something that separates people, that are ultra successful with the ones that are, struggling. It's not so much for the, for the mechanical stuff. It's that unseen, invisible stuff.
I think you're 100% right. I think, Vic, when you preach something that isn't actually working for you, or that you haven't experienced results from, then it kind of comes out in your body language. It is actually spiritually as well. It does come through you if you are actually telling lies or anything or misguiding anyone. But yeah, you're 100% right. Vic, what about the fact where people say, look, I don't know if I'm ready to be a teacher? I've usually said to my people that, even if you learn how to blog, or if you have put a keyword in and it's ranked up, or you've done a capture page and you've got leads, that is actually something to teach, because there are people that don't have any idea how to do that, and you are ready to actually teach that. Would you agree? I mean, is there a certain level someone has to reach before they start teaching, or can they just start
Yeah,
teaching as they go along?
yeah, absolutely. There's a level. I'm keep getting this echo back and forth.
Sorry,
It's like either
okay, let
you or
me just say.
magic if you pour some Coca-Cola into this technology or something like that. Okay, cool, awesome, thank you. Yeah, there is something that you need to get to before before you can start teaching. And that's a big thing, man. It's this thing called start doing something. Let me tell you this. When I how everything started to explode for me was not when I sat down and thought, you know what, I need to learn all of this and all of this and all of this, and oh my god, I still need to learn this before I can start teaching to people. No, what my mentor said, this was back in 2005. Okay, he said, look, you got to stand out right now with what you've got, with where you are. Doesn't matter if you are earning money or not. If you're not earning money, never ever say that you are if you're not. Okay? But here's what I did that really helped me and that will help you. Okay? Start doing something today. Okay? If you're in a business of building your business, if you're in network marketing, right, you want to build your business, you need traffic, you need to convert the traffic into leads. Okay? So what can you do today? You don't have like this massive knowledge base of marketing or these secret tactics of conversion or anything like that, right? Not yet anyways. But do you know how to get 5 people on your list? Do you know how to go to Facebook and run a Facebook ad, right? Do you know how to put up a YouTube video? Do you know how to go to somebody's blog and comment and provide more? Do you know how to go to a forum, right? And just interact with people, maybe put your signature, put your link to your landing page as a signature, right? That would go out with every post you make. Do you know how to just kind of blend into the community and not come across as somebody, hey, look at me, I want to sell something to you, but bring something that would benefit the community, right? Now, when you run your ad, okay, as soon as you have 5 people on your list, it doesn't have to be much. If you get 5, 10 people on your list, email these people and say, you know what, I'm going to teach you how I got 10 subscribers, 10 leads in the last 2 hours, in the last 24 hours, in the last 48 hours. That's where you start, right? And so all of a sudden you're teaching as you're doing, right? So now it's like that snowball. I mean, it starts small, but when you are being genuine, right, and you talk to your 10 people like they're your jams, right, and you teach them and you say, you know what, look guys, this is what I did, this is how I got the 10 leads in to my list in the last 24 hours, right? Do this if you want, check it out, hope it works for you. No pitches, no nothing, you're just there. You are their leader. You're the leader for that first 10 people, okay? So now those 10 people, they will try what you did, and maybe they get 2 subscribers. They will look at you as somebody who is an authority on the topic. They will come back, and they will pay attention to your next email, okay? But at the same time, you're running additional ad, and you're exploring this, and you're exploring this. And so the thing that's working for you, maybe even a little bit, you keep doing what's working, but you explore more areas, right? And so next time, maybe a week later, you email, and now instead of 10 people, you're sending your email to maybe 65 people, right? And again, you do the same thing, and you're teaching what you're doing that's working for you. And even if those people get 20% of your results of what you've got, they will keep checking your emails, and your email open rate is going to go up.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And so that's how you engineer that in the beginning, but you got to be consistent, you got to be persistent with it, and you got to be doing it from the genuine, this unselfish way. Don't do this from, with a mentality of, what, I just need to make a buck, I got these 10 people, I need to sell them something. Because as soon as you think I need to sell them something, people will sense that. It's like that dog sensing fear, right? People sense your intentions. Like, what is your intention? If your intention is, I want to build a legacy, I want to build something incredible, I really want to make a difference in this world, in this business, arena, whatever the thing is, you have to operate from that being your center. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
but that's
yes.
how I got my start, for instance. And so that's a long answer to your short question, but you don't have to be somebody who knows everything about everything to start teaching. You literally just need to start doing something and just share what you're doing with your community, with your subscribers. And the main intention is for you to grow your to grow your following base, and for you to become a person that your subscribers are going to look up to, in their career. So that's how you stand out. You stand out within your first 10 people, first 100 people, first 1,000 people, and then before you know it, you're doing a hangout with 300 people on it.
I think that's absolutely beautifully explained, Vic. I think the magic in that is the fact that, when you help that small group of people, maybe 3, 4, 5 people, and you show them how to do something, and they get it, and then you actually spotlight them, and then you attract more people because they can actually see people that have actually achieved results by what you're teaching. So that's where the snowball effect kind of starts, doesn't it?
Yeah. People will be attracted to you naturally by how you make them feel.
Yeah.
And if they apply what you teach them, and even if they get a little bit of a result, right, they will keep coming back.
Right.
And so that's really the 2 biggest things. Don't worry about selling stuff. Worry about building value. It's all about value-based marketing. Forget gone are the days to where it was all about just straight up sales tactics and techniques. Nowadays, it's all about value-based marketing. Most people don't understand this yet. Okay, there's going to be a time, here probably in the near future, to where the message is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and this thinking of, value-based marketing, and more people are going to catch on to that. Not everybody, of course, but right now, this is the most perfect opportunity for you to start practicing that and capitalizing on this, because hardly anybody is doing that right now. Lead with value, do a value-based marketing campaign, and just watch what happens. Your business is gonna, it's gonna grow faster than you ever thought possible because nobody else is doing this.
Absolutely fantastic. Right, so if I can take a couple of questions while we're here. Talking about traffic and conversions a little bit, Vic, just to give us a little education, to the people. When it comes to capture pages, right, there's two things you have actually said in your training that I've actually been on. You say there's a lead magnet and hook. Can you explain what those two things are?
Yeah, sure. So the lead magnet is, well, first of all, you need to start with the hook, right? So the hook is something that people you need to. So let's say when you run an ad, right? Let's say somebody is checking their email, and they got 50 emails in their inbox from 50 other marketers, and you're number 51, right? What can you write that would make them stop and pay attention to your email instead of paying attention to 50 other emails?
Right.
Okay, so what is that hook? So that hook is this. It's if you can imagine the thing that, like, when people wake up to go to the bathroom at 2 o'clock in the morning, right, or to take a drink of water or whatever, what are they thinking about? Really, just kind of think about that, right? Just kind of step back and say, okay, so my audience, right? If you're in a network marketing, if you are, in, make money online type businesses or whatever, think about your audience put yourself in their shoes. It's easy for us to market, because we know, a lot of times we know way more than our audience, right?
Yes.
If you forget what you know, put yourself in your audience shoes, okay? And think, okay, so if I was on that side of the fence, what is the constant thought in my head every single time? What's the thing that keeps me up, that it just dominates my thinking all the time? And if you're in making money, right, it's probably, how do I make more money?
How do I make money quickly and fast?
How do I make more money? Right, that's what a lot of people think. Now you got to think like this. So if how do I make more money is what everybody's thinking about, and how to make more money is what everybody's preaching, is how can you stand out from this noise, right? And make that person pay attention to you, okay? And so that could be just, if you can identify one thing they can do, and they can implement, and they can get a result. Doesn't have to be a huge result. That one thing that helped them make $1, okay? And position that to be your hook, okay? You're gonna win. So I can give you an example here. One of the campaigns that I ran, and I gotta be kind of careful when saying this stuff, because if depending on your crowd, I mean, I don't know where your people are, what companies they're with, but if everybody's gonna start just copying this exact same subject line, it might not work as well, for everybody else. But one of the very successful, hooks for me was, the lead magnet was a video to where I explained to people the concept of making money, but the hook was this one strategy. I think it was this one thing. I got to look it up. I can look it up if we have time, but we're running. I think it was something like, this one thing took me from broke to making $200 an hour fast, something like that.
Right.
So what makes this different is, this one thing. So there's specificity there. Took me from being broke to $200 an hour. $200. A lot of people think, like wages, like hourly. Right? And so if somebody's making like, $20 or $15 or $10 an hour, all of a sudden, like, it's $200 an hour. It's not like $2 million an hour, but it's like $200 an hour.
They can relate to it.
People automatically draw to that. And they're like, oh, $200 an hour now, right? So that's kind of like an example of a hook. And then you explain the concept around it. That can be in your lead magnet. So you just put yourself in the prospect's shoes and ask yourself, what will really get my attention? Okay.
Excellent.
Another thing that another advice I can give to everybody is this: create yourself like a junk email account and just subscribe to a lot of marketers. Just subscribe. And take a look at what subject lines get your attention, and then create yourself a swipe file of the stuff that you personally like, that you personally would respond to, so that you have a resource that now when you're writing your campaigns, right, you're writing your email subject lines or your ads or whatever, you can reference to, and you can get inspirations, you can get ideas. Don't ever copy anybody, somebody else's work, but put your spins to it. Does that make sense? So you can combine these. You can put your own thinking into it. Again, be creative. Most people don't do this, but you're gonna build your own swipe of stuff that works, that you can deploy over and over and over again, and that's gonna work for you.
That's fantastic, and I know you say a lot that you have to. Successful people are good students, so it's a very good tip that you gave there. Go actually subscribe to other people that are doing well and learn how they do it, because they've done all their homework and research and everything on what works. But excellent. Okay, so I've got a question coming in from Fiona. I think what's really important here, which you said before I actually asked the question, I think, Vic, what happens is when people join, when they have a product or anything like that to promote, they tend to buy traffic very, very quickly if they're going to go down that route. But they don't have a funnel set up. I mean, there's nothing there. I mean, there's no capture page set up. There's no, what if someone opts in? What goes on after that? What about the email follow-ups? What is your process? So I think it's really important to have your whole planning done, of 10, 12 days of what your process, that the person's got to go through when they go through the funnel. Would you say that's kind of right?
Yeah, so somebody joined the company and they want to start buying traffic right away. What I would suggest is for that person to map out, to really get clear on, like, what's your philosophy around this idea? Like, why are you doing this? What's the framework that you can explain to people, that what's going to make you different? Why are you doing this, and why should anybody care? Right? If you started with a company that has 20,000 other affiliates, why should anybody care about your business or your link or your funnel instead of 19,999 other people? Does that make sense? And so really identify that, and you don't have to have a massive, giant, complicated funnel in the beginning. This can be something as simple as, if you're okay with doing a video. I know not everybody are, but if you're okay with shooting a video, as soon as somebody opted in, again, depending on what your hook is on your landing page, okay. Let's say if your hook is, how to make an extra, how to go from zero to making $200 an hour, whatever, right? I mean, just giving you, an example here. As soon as somebody opted in, that message needs to be carried through. What a lot of people are making a mistake with, is they have this one big hook on the landing page, and then as soon as people opted in, what they see on the back end is something totally different, and there is no connection whatsoever. Okay, you need to have a transition that's smooth and that makes sense to the person going through that. Okay, so the transition can be, you can do a video, you can do a personal video, and if you're just getting started, if you don't have thousands of people following you or subscribing to you daily, you can do something as simple and as profound as, shoot a personal video. Just take your iPhone and just say, look, guys, my name is Vic, and don't say guys, by the way. Just talk to the person as if you're talking to just one person. Just say, hey, this is Vic. Thank you so much for getting on my list to check out this, whatever your hook was. Tell you what, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to explain to you exactly how you can do whatever you promised them to do. You can do it two different ways. Okay, either watch from my email or contact me on Skype, and just put your Skype right on that thank you page. Right. And your phone number. Have the person contact you. Have the person call you. Okay. And if you're not getting bombarded with thousands upon thousands of hits or opt-ins, you can handle this, right? So you can dedicate 2 hours a day. You can say, I'm going to be available on Skype from this time to this time. Hit me up, or here's my phone number. Call me. Okay. What you're going to do is, again, you're gonna position yourself as head and shoulders above the competition, right? People can access you directly, because when people see your ad and they see this big promise, naturally people think that the person behind that site is somebody who is giant and already successful and everything like that, right? That's just how people think by default. And if you can give out your phone number, I guarantee you a lot of people are going to call you. And when they call you, guess what? What you're going to do is you're going to talk more about them than yourself.
Right.
Okay? You find out what they want, you resonate with them, you be personable, and you just, you're there to help them and guide them. You're not there to sell them, but you're there to be their consultant. Okay?
Excellent, excellent.
Telling you, the people, if you had 10 people call you, I bet you probably sign up 7 or 8 of them, if they call you. I mean, that's just something as simple as that. Again, it's going to make you look different, and you don't have to have massive amounts of leads coming in to be able to convert a lot of them into sales. And then these other guys in the company will look at you like, what are you doing? You're not even on the map, but you're getting all these sales. So just being creative, like what would make you respond and like the other marketer, so you be the best marketer you can possibly be, is kind of that approach.
That's wonderful, and that actually kind of shows that you care about the person as well. You're making an extra effort that other people don't really do, and not treat everyone like a numbers game. It's actually a personal connection that you make to their core desires and fix that.
One of the things, one of the things that I go back to the very first company that I joined with that I was failing, that I wasted $20,000 with, but then I became #1 income earner in 4 months after starting applying some of these ideas. I did not change the company. The company was the same, right? I changed my approach. And so my approach was, one of the things that I did is I gave out my phone number in an email that was going out to my people that opted in. I said, look, I'm real. Just wanted to let you know I'm here for you. I'm a family man. I'm just a normal dude that, that has a big dream and a passion for, for this industry. Feel free to contact me, if you have any questions. And people would call me, and I would be like, I would be walking with my wife, for example, and the phone would ring, right? I would answer, hey, this is Vic. Hey, what's up? Just be very, very friendly. That's the thing, is people, you want to be that person who people would be kind of like attracted to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But then you talk about, your lifestyle and your excitement about life and your excitement about business and about what you do, because that's kind of the stuff that people buy, right? But when somebody would call me back, I'd say, hey, this is Vic. I'm actually just, walking with my wife or whatever. Or we're at the, at the restaurant, or whatever is going on around you at that time. Don't be afraid to share that stuff, because that makes you, real. And so a lot of people were calling me, and I would sign up a lot of people into that opportunity. That's one of the ways I became, #1 income earner. And then, of course, as you get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you have more people following you, you cannot be doing that forever, because you'll be living on the phone basically. But that's a very good strategy to start with. That's a good strategy to really ignite your business fast.
Absolutely fantastic. Now, Vic, we are going over the hour. I know I said 15 minutes, but it never lasts that long. I'll be okay for a few more minutes, or?
Yeah.
Okay,
I wanted to, if you guys have questions, but I promised everybody that I would talk about the 5 big ideas.
I know.
But whatever, if you guys have more questions, I can stay on.
Okay, I'll take one more. I'll take a couple more questions, because there's tons coming in. I can't address everybody, guys. So I'm really, really sorry, but this is a special guest of mine that's full of nuggets, and you can't break him in any way. But Vic, there's one really important question, okay, and it's by Fiona Stevens. It's a really good question. She says she's got dog products online. It's also a business opportunity, okay. So she's wondering what messages should she be giving in funnels? So 2 different things that she's doing with the products. Is she selling them as a customer, as customers, or she's selling it as a business op? So knowing your knowledge and background and experience on the right funnels, how would you separate the 2? If you were doing that, what would you do?
How to separate the 2 between the customer funnel and the business funnel?
Yes. How would your approach be?
So,
yeah.
Right, and you said it's a dog product, right?
It's a dog product. It's like helping. She hasn't gone into detail. Actually, if you can tell us what it is, I think it's probably like grooming, or maybe how to.
Yeah. So what I would do is, whatever your product does,
yes.
Okay, I would find out like why would people buy that product,
right?
Okay? And focus on the 20%, like again going back to the 20-80%. So focus on the 1 or 2 things that your product is going to do the best for the person, right, or yes. For the dog in that case. Why people buy that, or what's their biggest frustration with with whatever that your product helps solve that, right?
Right.
Focus on that, and so that can become your. I mean, I see this as I mean, I would if that was me, I would do this in a very kind of like strategic way.
Yes.
So you can lead with the business opportunity, that's okay, but then you have to kind of explain because there is to lead with a business opportunity. It's very important for me that people buy into my personal vision as to why I'm running the business,
Right.
right? So if we can get so if your product does X, right, and that's a big deal for the for the dog, and if you can get your people to buy into that and become evangelists of that idea that they believe in, right? That's a very powerful strategy.
Yes.
For the product side of it, I assuming the product is really really good and it actually does what what it needs to do, and gets people results. If the product is really good, it's going to be very easy to sell it because if you personally believe in the product, if you're a product of the product or if your dog is a product of the product, that should be that should be easy to sell. But then you can funnel your customers and maybe do a special event for them, a Google Hangout, or maybe gather them in a one in one area. That worked really well for me in other industries, to where instead of talking to people on one-on-one about opportunities, talking to the customer, right? I would acquire customers. This was when I was creating ClickBank or selling ClickBank products. So I would have all these customers, the people that bought from me, right? But I would, from time to time, I would put them into like a webinar, okay? And I would talk about the idea because they're all thinking about the same similar thing, right? And I would put them in one room on a webinar. So now we have a group of people, of like-minded people around
Right.
an idea, okay? And so now you present your idea for, what, how can we take this idea and how can we multiply it and be this group of people who will propagate this big idea around the marketplace, right? And the way I'm thinking is like, how can we dominate, right? And become the looked up to group, in this industry. And so people buy into that stuff, and they'll buy into your business idea, and they'll become evangelistic about whatever business it is. And if you guys can do it a little bit differently than how everybody else is doing it, you got it.
I think that's a fantastic example there, Vic. I think, yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter what the product is, it's the vision, it's the vision that people, especially with business opportunities, regardless of what the product is, people want to see where you're going with it. What can they be part of? It's like building a culture, isn't it? Building a
It
culture.
is. Yeah, I mean the product is important. For instance, I don't want to say that the product is not important. The product is important, but the
Yes,
product is not what's gonna build your.
what's
It's
going
not.
to
It's
build
not
it, right? Yeah,
what's gonna sustain you long term is your vision behind the product. So the
right.
product needs to be really, really, really good. That's a given. But then there's a layer on top of that will get people to resonate with you and really follow you passionately and do whatever you advise them to do.
Excellent. No, sorry, forgive me for saying that, but what I meant is, when you approach people with what you're doing, they don't really know about your product. They want to know what your attitude is, what kind of culture they can actually come into. Obviously, you as a person needs to find a decent product because, don't want people to be let down. But I think the initial stage is to kind of build the culture of like-minded individuals that can actually go out there and build a business, right? All
Yeah,
right.
that's one of the things that I always, that was my
Yeah.
focus all the time is whatever, even if I was selling ClickBank products, as an
Yeah.
affiliate, it's building a tribe around an
Tribe.
idea. So
Yeah.
if you're selling a home improvement products type deal, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's people that buy that stuff, they're in a similar thinking. So it's building a community around that thinking and then thinking of how can we take that and how can we make it better? How can we make it bigger?
Okay.
How can
Right.
we, how can we give people these ideas that will make people go, you know what? That's. I mean, I'm into that anyways. But if we're gonna do this, we might do it. Might as well do it big. So how can you be the originator of a bigger idea behind whatever product or service that you're offering out there? I mean, that's really how you stand out in the marketplace.
Absolutely fantastic. Right. Okay. So Vic, there's one thing that you say I've picked up a lot in your trainings is that this is said a lot in the industry that money is in the list. And I've learned from yourself that it's actually not in the list, it's actually building relationships. So going back to this example of dog products for customers, how would you say the best way to create a relationship with the people that are that you're aiming to sell your product to? What kind of content can they give to these people to build a relationship in that way?
It depends on what the product is doing, and
Yeah.
it's like I can speak for like I can't really speak for for dog market because yeah, I'm not into that's not my thing. So
Yeah.
I know there's like different products for dogs and everything, but here's an example that I think that person to follow.
Yeah.
Um, if my niche is people who want to make money, right, and that's their end result, is they want to make money, there is certain things that they need to do that precedes that
Yes.
before that end result. Okay,
Yeah.
so how do I build relationship? Is I talk about the things that precede making money, right? That nobody else is talking about, that will make people have those aha moments, right? So,
Right.
like for example, if you want to make money, so what's the logically thinking? What's the first thing you need? Well, you need to have something to sell. Boom. Okay, so you can talk about that. So that can be your first value, free value piece. Okay, so now
Yes.
you had something to sell. How can you differentiate yourself, make yourself different? So, you need to have your own capture pages and understanding the idea of differentiating yourself, among everybody else. So that can be your free value number two,
Yes.
right? And so you're giving people this, series of educational, because what is marketing?
Yeah.
Marketing is education.
Yes.
Okay, advertising is getting people into your funnel, into your list. Your marketing really begins when people are on your list. That's when you start. And marketing equals education. So if you can think of marketing equals education, if you can educate people in a simple, to understand way, and with a layer of your style, your personality, and hopefully your personality is not like bum 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 bum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if you just be yourself, forget about what people think about you. You're not trying to please everybody, but just be yourself, man. I mean, this is the internet. That's 2014. And it's about you building a tribe of people who are like you. It's a lot easier to build a business with people around you who are just like you. Instead of trying to adapt and please everybody else out there in the world. So take a look at your product, what it does. Is there anything that would be along the same lines that you could talk about, right? Maybe give people ideas or education or tips, information, that would kind of lead them into wanting to get this end result, for the product.
Excellent, excellent. And there was another thing that you said in your training that, if you show people like a longer way of doing it, and then if your product is helping them shorten their time or helping them in a way that, that they can get more benefit out of the product, that's the best way to do it. So kind of show people what the alternative is if they don't get the product or the value of not buying it, basically.
Yeah, this works great for like service type products, done for you, some sort of a systematized approach, some like maybe a piece of software if you're into that kind of stuff. Because I did this. I actually discovered that idea when I was promoting an affiliate product,
Right.
uh, back a few years ago, and it was just a directory, of resources. And I was showing people how to find those resources manually, one by one, on the internet. And then I said, you know what? If you want to simplify this whole thing, man, take this approach, boil it down into two steps. Here it is, and that product just seemed to solve that entire research process. And I became like one of the top income or no, one of the top affiliates for that particular product really really fast.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that it just, for instance, it's about thinking creatively in your business. So don't think of what, how can I compete? Think of how can I create? How can I provide an atmosphere or how can I lay out a really interesting and a little bit unique approach um, to educating my marketplace and making myself, really stand out naturally by having fun, in the process. You know what I mean? It's like I don't look at my business as, something that's serious, something that, oh my goodness, I need to do this or I need to do that. I look at this and think, how can I have fun with what I'm already doing that would serve people, as simple as that.
Excellent, excellent. There you go, guys. Well, we have so many comments. I don't know how to kind of address these, but guys, we're coming over an hour. I mean, the time's just gone by so quickly. But Vic, you've been absolutely fantastic. I mean, there's so much more that I could have asked you today, but I know time is short and it's run out. But as you are on the I Have a Dream show, Vic, what are you doing nowadays? I mean, what is going on? What is your dream? I know that with entrepreneurs, once they reach, a mountain, there's another one to climb. They keep growing. So, what is your vision now? What is your dream?
My dream is to bring an awareness, a new level of awareness into the marketplace of, for entrepreneurs and small business owners of what it really takes to succeed, and it's not as complicated as most people think.
Right.
My big thing right now is systematizing a concept for an entrepreneur, a small business owner, anybody who is out there to expand their message in the marketplace, is to how can they do it faster, better, and more efficient, and create a movement around their idea. It's not so whatever your idea is, whatever your message is helping you take that and multiply it, many fold, and having fun in the process. So can't speak too much about any of the details in that, but that's kind of something that's I'm after right now.
No, that's absolutely beautiful. You're on the right path, Vic, and may you have much more success. But Vic, you've been absolutely extraordinary. The time's just gone by. I can't wait to have you back on the show in future shows.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me on, Chris. It's a great thing you're doing here, and yeah, I had fun.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in.